let's have a look at the engine, and that's what this is. You don't need to read it, so don't worry if you can't see
Okay, good.
see the
But I
detail.
have it if I want to look at it.
Yeah. So just before I go into this, just think about a car engine. We know if we know a car engine, we put fuel in. So it's like we're putting nutrition into the car, and that gets fed to the engine, and then that engine converts that petrol, that fuel, into mechanical energy, and it moves. Well, we take nutrition in, and our body converts it into physical and mental energy, and that makes us work. Um, but we also know that when we lift up the bonnet, it's not just one piece of equipment. There's a number of bits and pieces, and only one of those bits and pieces, it might only be a small component that's not working, and the whole engine's affected.
Yeah.
Okay, it must all
Yeah.
work in sync. So what we're looking at here, we're lifting up the bonnet of our healing machine, if you like, because we are healing machines, and there are key components of that healing machine that needs to be in balance. And if it's not, well, then we're not in balance, and because we can't be, because we're out of balance, and that's what we're looking at here. Okay, and it's broken down into one, two, three, four, five, and then you've got digestion, which everything gets back to digestion. Okay, and you will see they're diphasic. There's two sides. So how our body controls things, it's like a thermostat: switch on, switch off, switch on, switch on, switch on, switch off. It's set on a temperature, so it goes up, hits that temperature, then it stops and comes down again. Hits another temperature, goes back up, like that. And this is what we're doing with these systems. It doesn't matter if they move around a bit because they have to, because they're trying to control. These are what we call metabolic control mechanisms. They're
Yeah.
controlling us. There's not just one straight line, and there's a hierarchy here as well. So the number one, two, three, number one, two, and three are the most important. Number one is the most important um, system. This is our electrolyte balance, and this is the most important. Why? Well, because if we don't have the power switched on, turned on, how's our body going to do anything? And this is where I'd say 90%, 95% of everybody I've ever worked with will have an imbalance here, and you do as well, which means you have electrolyte deficiency, which means you don't have the power switch turned on. You've got some
Yeah.
power, of
And
course
it
you have,
just, yeah.
okay? But remember, when we've got some power and we're not getting enough power, because we're essentially with our electrolytes, we're talking about, a conduit, an electrical conduit in our body. When we don't have enough power, well, then our body starts falling down because it's prioritizing all the time. It says, well, I'm going to keep you alive. I've got to do this. I'm going to put all this energy into this because this is really important. But I'm going to bother about other stuff? No, because I don't have the energy.
Yeah.
Until you start to get
Yeah.
more energy and you start to take some of the, I guess another way of looking at this work is how can we put these internal fires out so that your body can. It's sometimes it's not about adding some magical cure or magical supplement or magical medicine. It's about just removing the stresses in the body, and the body goes, "Phew, okay, now I have a bit more energy. Now I have some electrolytes." And then we work on these other imbalances. Go like, "Huh, now I have more energy, and I didn't have to change my diet. I have more energy. What am I going to do now?" Well, the next most important thing. Okay, so you're coming through electrolyte deficiency. Now, things like anxiety, depression, insomnia, chronic fatigue, there's so many variables, as you know. But having a deficiency in electrolytes, is that commonly linked with depression? Absolutely. Okay. Um, but depression and anxiety, it's there are so many. It takes more work to like work out. Well, we see this coming up. We can see the depression. We can see the anxiety. Is that linked to insomnia? Maybe the insomnia. But oh, hang on, why have we got insomnia? Oh, that might be linked to your cell membranes. Oh, your cell membranes, and you do have a cell membrane imbalance. We'll look at that next. So uh, it's that's okay. It's linked to digestion. All right. Let's go to the next one here. If we come over to your cell membrane, so this is our circadian rhythm. Our membrane. So in the morning, our cell membranes become more permeable. Okay, we wake up. Now we have more oxygen, gives us more energy. We wake up because at night time, our membranes close down. We have less oxygen. We get tired. We fall asleep. We rebuild. Okay, And so that's the anabolic phase. But the catabolic phase is the morning when we wake up, okay? And we don't grow in the daytime, we grow at nighttime, like a lot of plants do, flowers and that. They don't grow in the day, they grow in the nighttime. They shoot up overnight. We're the same. In the daytime, we're metabolizing. The engine of life is fired up. We're creating toxins. We're more breaking down in the day than we are building up. Now you're stuck a little bit in the catabolic, which is you're not getting out of that daytime. Your body's struggling to hold on to things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Often a catabolic person will say, I just feel that my life energy is just slowly leaking away and it just doesn't seem to come back little bit
Yep.
by little bit. Okay? And we get into a more anabolic, well then that's when we have the building up. We need to get you more anabolic. You probably know about anabolic steroids people take because they want to build in the gym,
Yeah.
muscles and stuff like that. Okay. And a catabolic person, oh sorry, what is this linked to? Lipids, fats. Okay, catabolic membrane imbalance is or anabolic, one way or the other. It's the different types of fat. So with catabolic, it's a lack of saturated fats. Okay, does that mean we're not eating saturated fats? No, it means we're not getting saturated fats. So then the next thing I look at when I see this is what's going on with your liver and gallbladder. Okay, and do we
Okay.
see some stresses
Yeah.
there? Yes, we do. We're not assimilating the fats. And when we're not assimilating the fats, it's not just a cell membrane thing. That's one thing. Okay, our membranes are so open. We're in the daytime mode. We have trouble sleeping sometimes because our cells are open. Um, the big thing with saturated fats, especially, is the fact that our energy production is really poor. And when our energy
Okay.
production is very poor because we're not getting enough fats, then our body wants to get carbs because that's the only way it can get energy.
Ah,
Okay.
and that's why you crave it then, right, Mark?
Yeah, yeah. It all it is it's you know, as this is panning out.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Now, when we actually I'm posting a video maybe tonight. I'm doing on this one thing about the gallbladder and about the effects of it. I've been working on it for the last day, and I'm going to post it. You'll see it later when I post it. It's really good. And one of the symptoms of someone that's struggling with the gallbladder is energy levels. They have fatigue for sure, but the energy levels they have is like this. It's up and down like a yo-yo. Sometimes they feel quite good, and sometimes they don't feel quite good, and that can happen up and down in the day. And not just their physical energy, but also their mental energy. Sometimes it's not too bad, and emotional energy. Sometimes it's not too bad, but sometimes it's terrible. Okay? Why is it so? Why am I cycling? That's because that's a sugar thing. This is
Okay.
sugars. All right? It doesn't mean you're eating a lot of sugars. It means that your body is only trying to tap into sugars because it can't get the fats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's new too.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
Oh,
if we
okay.
can't get the fats, the body said, well, I need and I need to burn sugars. And if it can't get the sugars, well, then you're in the zone of misery because you have no way of getting any energy. And this is why people sometimes crave carbs, is because that's the only way they can get energy. It's not just it's not because they're a sugar addict as such. It's because their body says, I need to get energy from somewhere. I'm gonna drive you to get carbs because I can't get any fats, right? It doesn't, you know, like it's not that. Yeah, but I'm eating lots of fats. It doesn't matter. You're not getting those fats. Okay.
Yeah, because the body's broken, right, Mark? It
Yeah,
won't let the fats come
absolutely,
in.
absolutely.
Ah,
And
okay.
then we move into when we start to tap into the fats. Sorry, sugars, and
Uh-huh.
you get this cycle, this fluctuation throughout the day. That puts your whole body into chaos because this is we're in this reactionary mode. Your body's
Yeah,
going like, oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God, I've
yeah.
got more to deal with now. Because when the sugars are high, I got some energy. But then sugars crash. Now what? And now I've got to go back over here now. I've got to do this. And then you take some more sugars. Oh, I got some energy. But having that energy because of high sugars then creates so many other things. High insulin. When you've got high insulin, your body won't burn fats. Your body won't produce energy when you've got high insulin and low sugars. Okay? This is what I call the zone of misery. Because what happens is you grab some carbs, your sugars spike, and if you've been doing this for a while, then you're going to have insulin resistance. And when you have insulin resistance, which means insulin's high, now your body won't burn fat. A lot of people that are struggling to lose weight is because they have high insulin. Big chunk of people. And they go, well, I'm not eating many carbs. It doesn't matter. You've done this over the years. You've really put a lot of strain on your pancreas and producing this insulin. It's like it needs more and more, and it struggles because then our cells get resistance and we need more insulin, more insulin, more insulin. Then suddenly, bang, it deals with the sugars. But insulin is so high, it takes about 4 or 5 hours to come down. And while it's high, there's no energy. And that's when people go, oh my God, I've got to have something. I'll grab some carbs. And then the insulin goes back up again. And until it comes down to a certain level, that's when the body says, right, now I can start tapping into fats. Assuming that it can get fats. All right. So catabolic cell membrane, it's common. It's these two so far that I've looked at, the electrolyte deficiency, catabolic cell membrane. I see them together thousands and thousands and thousands of times. Okay. And they come with...
Mark, is that me then? So is it showing? Can you tell if I have insulin resistance?
No, but I can't see that, but I know that.
Yeah, I can tell you now 100% that's me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a patterns and numbers person, which means I see things in patterns and numbers. That's it.
Okay.
Not because I'm some whiz kid, scientific wizard and this stuff. No, I'm very good at picking patterns and understanding structures to things. And when I see enough, I go like, I might not, I might be looking at 4 or 5 different things. I go like, nah, I don't know what's going on here. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Because all these little red boxes, we're always going to have some red boxes, okay? But when you've got enough to point out an imbalance, that's when I talk about it. But okay, just quickly, catabolic muscle loss, letting go. Body can't get enough protein. Why? Because it hasn't got enough hydrochloric acid. Okay, if we're not getting enough hydrochloric acid, well then now we don't have digestive chemistry. If we don't have digestive chemistry, we're not going to assimilate the minerals. If we're not going to assimilate the minerals, that's even less energy we've got and less electrolytes we've got. Okay, now you can start to sort of think in your mind. You start to, oh, hang on, oh, okay, that sort of makes sense. Yes, it does. So this helps us know what to do, when to do it, at what level, how and at what quantities. The sequence is so important. Okay, you can go to the best person in the world who can magically analyze everything, but if you don't know which way to put it back together again, it doesn't matter, because it's no good dealing at this level when you've got this problem, because now we're trying to build a house without a foundation, and we know what happens then. It starts falling down, and then we patch it up. Oh my God, these supplements were working once, and I don't know, but it doesn't work anymore. That's because you're patching up the window, the foundation. No one's looking at the foundation. It's broken. And that's what we're looking at, the foundation. All right. Migraines.
Yeah, this resonates so much, Mark.
Yeah,
like,
good. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's why I get so excited. I mean, I've done so much of this. I still get so excited about it. I get so excited about it because I just love being able to be just accurate and confident enough to know that I see enough to know what needs to happen to move forward. And as far as, well, then that's why coaching is good, because we go, well, okay, we move forward. Well, things are going to change. What did change? And because things will change, and we can spend the next 6 months or next year trying different things and maybe going backwards and forwards, or we can be smarter about it and say, no, I'm going to be on it. I'm not going to waste 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 3 months to find out that what I've been doing for 3 months hasn't been working. Your energy production, what have we got up here? Okay, I haven't got an imbalance as such, but I want to talk about that because, that's because I didn't get your sugar levels.
I know. So I can still like, I do want to do coaching with you. So
We
I can still do sugar levels
yeah, that's
for you.
yeah, that's cool. Look, I know with I can read between the lines anyway. All right,
Okay,
even if
all
I
right,
don't see them.
okay.
So,
Okay.
and there's some numbers. Your breath rate's a key number here. It's 11. It's quite low.
Okay.
And when your breath rate is quite low, it's because it's trying to hold on to acid in the bloodstream. Because it's the acid, CO2. When we breathe, we breathe out CO2. CO2 converts to carbonic acid in our body, and that's what our body uses to regulate blood pH. Now, let's just think about this for a minute. So when we have a low breath rate, lower than about 13, 14, 15, it's a sign that our body is trying to slow down breathing because it doesn't want to let that acid escape. Okay. Well, where does that acid come from? Sometimes, often it comes from sugar metabolism. Okay. So a slow oxidizer, you're probably quite a slow oxidizer, means doesn't mean you don't burn sugars, but your body struggles to burn sugars. So that's
Yep.
just another double whammy. Slow
But
ox
why is that? Do you know why? What causes that?
everything we're looking at.
Oh, all right.
Okay, now, so some people tend to be more fast oxidizer. Okay, because you can see you've got red boxes on either side because there are some similar symptoms there. A fast
Yeah.
oxidizer person is someone that most people know someone that go like, I don't know, what about them? All they do is eat junk, processed food, they're eating lollies, and they're skinny as a rake.
I know, I hate them.
That's because they're a fast oxidizer, which means their body burns through very, very quickly. Okay, they can eat a Mars bar or something or a chocolate bar, and it doesn't cause them a problem because they just burn through that energy really quick.
Mm.
Okay, now a slow oxidizer tends to be the opposite side. They don't do that, and they tend to, if they have excess sugars in their body, then that just adds to excess weight again because of the insulin and everything else. All right,
Okay.
and it's the fat burner is more of sorry, a slow oxidizer is more of a fat burner. Okay, I'm a fat burner. I'm more of a slow oxidizer. So sometimes we are those types, and that's how we are. We manage that, but
Okay.
you've got enough imbalances to know that you're not a fast oxidizer. So when you're burning into fats, this is a consistent energy. And I mentioned this in the video that I'm going to post tonight about because it's all about fats, gallbladder, and all the impacts on that. And I know I'm sure some clients like hate this when I say this, but I don't lose energy. I get up in the morning, I go to the gym, I've got a bike, I ride. Well, it's an electric bike, so I do pedal a bit. But I mean, I'm very active. I work at night times. I often work at night times as well. I do not get tired. And my energy never goes. I have the same energy at 10 o'clock at night than I do in the morning. And I've been to the gym and I've done this and I've done that. All right. Why? Well, yeah, the few, obviously, because I'm a bit geeky on what I do with myself, but I'm burning fats. So I have none of this. I
Yeah.
used to.
Your insulin.
I
Yeah.
used to
But
have
your
that.
insulin is stable. Yeah.
But I tap into those fats very well. And it's just like, whoa, it just never stops because you don't lose the energy because you're not tapping into sugars. Then sugars put you out of whack, and then we have
Yeah.
this fluctuation. Got some energy, zone of misery. Got some energy, zone of misery. And that's what I used to.
That's my daily life.
That's what I used to be like. And that used to affect my emotional and my anxiety and my stress. And if I think back to pre when I turned my life around, I can't imagine. I can't believe I was struggling so much. I can
Right.
remember. I can remember sometimes I'd go and have coffee in the morning and I'd feel like crying.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's all I can do not to cry with you right now.
Oh, so stressed. And
All
I
right.
didn't
I
know
feel like,
why. I didn't really know why.
yeah, right. That must be more frustrating.
And that's a lot of that when that happens, especially when we have these low times and even some of us might be going like, well, yeah, but my life is pretty good. I don't know why I'm feeling teary. Liver.
yeah, it's it's where all the
A lot
emotions
of
are kept,
emotions,
right?
yeah, a lot of strong emotions, negative emotions are held in the liver.
Strong.
So that's a clue to what we got to do. Are we working on the liver? Are we trying to do some fancy thing with some coaching? Ah, look at this. This is really cool. And the liver is still strong. No, we work on the liver as well. We make sure we're doing it at the same time. But when we
Good.
work on the liver, we have to be careful. We have to be sensitive because what we're going to be doing is not just helping detox the liver, but we're also detoxing the emotions.
Oh, that's clever. Because one time, Mark, I tried to do it with a tincture and I knew I should go slow. And I was, but my husband had gone away on a trip. I was a basket case, like
Yeah.
so emotional. And I knew, and I just weaned. I can't
Too
do
too
this. Like
too fast.
it's too
Because
fast.
what
Yeah.
happens now? I don't have. This is not a scientific um, proof on this, but I know enough from what I've seen and experienced. That's the good thing about working with so many people. There's not much I haven't seen. Like, there's so many complex things going on. But when we detox our liver, because it holds those emotions, what happens
Yeah.
if we go too fast, like what happened to you, and we'll end up just sitting there and going like, I just feel teary. I'm reacting so much to little things. Um, and you don't know why because it's not like I've just lost someone or I've just lost my job or I'm going to be kicked out of my house tomorrow. You know what that is. No, you go, I don't really know. It sort of doesn't make sense. That's because your body's experiencing those emotions, but you're not conscious of that because it's getting rid of them.
So true.
All right.
Yeah.
And they're
Right.
being, and I used to be like that a lot when I went through this. I go, I don't, that sitting out and having the coffee. My life was pretty good. I had a good job. I was making good money. And I just feel, and it was because I was detoxing my liver and my body, my mind, my body was experiencing the emotions, but I wasn't conscious of it. And that's why I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's very linked to depression and fatigue and weight.
Yeah.
Everything.
I'm learning so much from you today. I thought I knew a lot, but
Yeah, it's cool. We learn off of each other. You know, this is why it's always good to have a consultation. And if you do the coaching, you will love it because I'm not just gonna help you turn things around. You're gonna learn how to take control. You're gonna learn how to read some of this stuff. You're gonna learn how to do a lot of this stuff that I do as well. Okay. The
I'm
first
so
thing I do when
excited.
I do coaching is my whole mission is to do myself out of a job. And if I've done that, which means you take it on and and you start to learn what some of these things mean. It's not that complex, like it's more complex when you're going into the detail that I do. But once you get some momentum and you start to learn, and you do because we're meeting all the time, you just like, and I don't let that go. You know, I I hold you accountable. You do this and look at this, and because we trend it, there's an online system. We trend these things too. You actually see it and you start to identify, look, oh, every time your pHs are here and your sugars are here, you feel really bad. But every time they're here and your pHs are here, you feel really good. Well, what does that mean? Well, we know where we need to get your pHs and we know we need to get this. We know. And when we go back there again, you feel better again. Magic.
I'm
Okay?
in.
And it
I'm
gets
in, Mark. I'm
very,
totally in.
very powerful. And then you go like, this is cool. I have control over how I feel. Yes, you do. You just didn't know it. All right.
Yeah. I'm so
It
stoked.
becomes
Yeah.
fun. When I say it becomes fun, because it's so empowering to suddenly finally have some control and
Yeah.
not necessarily, you know, some magic button's been pushed and you wake up the next day it's all fixed. No, but you are under control and you know it, and you're focusing on it, and then you turn your life around, and then you're 53. Life hasn't even started yet. Okay.
That's very kind. Mark, I have to tell you, I have an autistic child that's nonverbal. And the only reason, like when you said this is sad, but she's 18 now, but I got a book called Changing the Course of Autism, which totally was written by a doctor. And some of it at the time was over my head because I didn't know anything they were talking about, but that's what changed me, knowing that so much starts in the gut,
Yeah. Yeah,
like so
it's
much.
like it's the so much starts in the gut, but why did it start in the gut? That's not
Yes.
the base.
Yes.
That's just
That's my
it's a
question. Yeah.
symptom.
Yeah.
What is it a
Yeah.
symptom of?
I
Everything.
know. That's my question. I get in trouble for asking too many questions,
No,
though.
no, no. I love this. I will talk all day with you if I've got the time on this stuff. I love helping people learn. You know, I teach this stuff, and I'm not far off launching my online platform, which is going to be a learning community because I need to. You know, like so many people are so confused, and a lot of people can't afford to do any testing, even though I keep the prices really down and stuff like. Fair enough.
Your prices are so, I'm going to tell you now, I would be, I don't know why I waited so long to pull the trigger with you. I guess because like I did this program in the United States called the Pampa program.
Right.
I got I got duped like so hard. Like I know there was truth in some of it, but I just sometimes you have to learn the hard way. That was me,
Yeah.
Mark.
Look, and one thing with this industry, with this work, that I have found, and it's not you would know this too. Trust and credibility is so big. You know, the one thing, you know, the good. It takes years of hard work to build that trust because it's hard because a lot of people won't do it with you, and it's so hard knowing that you can help people, but they're so been been turned they've been not been let down so many times to just like, oh well, yeah, Mark's saying this too, but then I was told that before, and yeah, Mark, you, no. It's not just about, and this is where it comes into. It's not just about knowing the answers. Oh, so it's not just about knowing the answers. It's about how can we practically implement those answers, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm good at because I'm so passionate about this, which means I'm not, you know, as you can see, it's not just, oh yeah, Amy, yeah, it's okay, you know, just take this and go away, and I'll see you in a few weeks. No. It's like I'm
No, you're invested. I can tell you're
passionate
invested,
about
Mark.
this.
Yeah.
We're living in
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
world where we're so confused, we're so frustrated with there's so much conflicting information. There's so much of wellness has been commercially changed. It's a commercial industry, and when it's a commercial industry, because it's money making industry, so it's in the interest of so many people, even not just mainstream, but now it's happening everywhere. It's just like there's money to be made and keeping you confused and frustrated and buying these miracles cures and this and that and this and that. It ain't rocket science, I can tell you. And we've got to try and forget about so much of this stuff that's been. We're human beings. We operate. Sure, there's a few things going on in our world and with some extra toxins and stuff like that and process whatever. But our body can deal with a lot of that. But we're trying. We're so consumed with finding this complex, wonderful, you know, cure that's been created by 100 scientists in the middle of somewhere, and no, we've lost. It's so simple. And one of my struggles sometimes when I used to do live consultation, I had to sometimes make it sound more complex, otherwise they didn't believe me. So I would, you know, not, I would look at them and sometimes I go like, I know. I used to do 3 hour consultations in the first 5 minutes sometimes. I would say, I got a good idea what's going on, but if I would tell you that, you're not going to do it. You're just going to go like, how do you know that? Like, so I go through the whole process and we find some evidence, and this is what we're doing with this. All right, burping and
Right.
bloating, low stomach acid, no brainer. Okay, we've got bacteria in our gut. We're fermenting in our gut. This is where the gas comes from. Why do we have
Yep.
that? Because we have low stomach acid. And we have low
Yeah.
stomach acid, we're probably going to have thyroid problems. If low stomach acid and thyroid problems go together. Not always, but a lot of people have uh, thyroid issues as they get into their 40s and 50s. That's because we start losing stomach acid. It's very linked. And if we have low
Okay.
stomach acid, we have low everything. We can't even. It's not just about digesting. It's about providing the chemistry for assimilation and liberation in the state. That's where it gets a bit more complex, and I'm not going to go in deep in that. You want to understand it, so it doesn't matter. But there's
Okay.
so many things going on. I'll just summarize. For minerals to be picked up, so we digest our food. We've eaten a meal, blah blah blah. Okay, and then our stomach releases that into the small intestines. Now, it's when we have high stomach acid meeting high levels of stomach acid, which is very acidic, meeting high levels of bile, which is very alkaline. It's the clashing of the two opposing forces. This is where the liberation happens in the small digestion. It's like putting vinegar with bicarb, like that. That's what happens in our small intestines, and then we end up with not only with the minerals liberated, but the pH, because of the high acidity and the high alkalinity, they meet, and then we end up with, ideally, it's 6.4, and there's some formulas I use to work this out. You'll learn more about this through some coaching, because I'll tell you how to gauge this. So the minerals are assimilated into our body through electromagnetism. Everything in the body is electromagnetic. So, okay, if that's the case, what impacts directly on on energy flow? pH. Okay, when we think about pH in the terms of the measurement of the degree of resistance to the flow of energy. Because if biological flow, for instance, is very alkaline, energy slows down. If it's very acidic, energy speeds up. Okay, so now you think about this when your body's trying to pick up minerals. If you have too slow or too fast, you're not going to get those minerals. You've got to be balanced. This is why we've got to have good stomach acid levels and good bile levels, and also the pancreatic enzymes and whatnot. And then we have this good balance. Now we not only liberate the minerals, but we can also assimilate those minerals because they're drawn in through this electromagnetic attraction. And this is where one of the biggest elephants in the biological living room out there is, because a lot of people are saying, yeah, but I eat a good diet. I've stopped eating that a long time ago. I'm taking these supplements. But what's going on? You're not getting it because your pHs are out, your digestive chemistry is out. So that's one area that we work on, focus on. We've got to get that right. Oh, now we have more energy. Now we have more potential energy. Now we've still got to get that to the cells. We've still got to have cells working properly. We've still got to have everything going on. But at least we've so this is where we're doing things at the right level. Okay, so we're not trying to going to a different fuel station with a broken down car thinking if we put a different type of fuel in there it's going to work better. No, the engine's broken. All right, so digestion, constipation, low stomach acid, craving, you're not getting your minerals. Undigested food, no brainer, you're not digesting. Gaining weight, no matter what you eat, that's because liver, gallbladder, high insulin, everything.
Toxic.
Heavy stomach, it's digestion. Your digestion's
it's digestion for sure.
Right.